From atomic bomb controversies to Hollywood's first stunt mask, the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy that roared through Terminator 2 hides a treasure trove of bizarre production secrets. This wasn't just movie magic. It was 6 weeks of training, crane-assisted jumps, and mysteries that remain unsolved to this day. Here are 15 weird facts you didn't know about Terminator 2's Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. Fact 1. The Terminator's display was wrong. When the Terminator scans the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy outside the Corral Biker Bar, his heads-up display identifies it as a 1990 model. This detail appears clearly on screen during the iconic opening sequence where Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 acquires his leather jacket, boots, and motorcycle. However, the actual bike used throughout filming was a 1991 Harley-Davidson FLSTF Fat Boy, creating a continuity error that has puzzled eagle-eyed fans for decades. The Fat Boy model was only introduced by Harley-Davidson in 1990, the year before Terminator 2 hit theaters, making it one of the newest motorcycle designs available at the time of production. The production team likely chose the 1991 model because filming took place from October 1990 through March 1991, and the newer bikes would have been the most readily available from dealerships. This wasn't a major plot point, but it represents one of those small technical mistakes that slipped through despite the film's massive budget of $100 million. The error went largely unnoticed by general audiences, as most viewers were focused on the spectacular action rather than reading the fine print on the Terminator's digital readout. Director James Cameron was known for his meticulous attention to detail, but with so many complex visual effects and stunts to coordinate, a one-year discrepancy in the bike's model year was an understandable oversight. The mistake has since become a fun piece of trivia for dedicated fans who enjoy spotting these kinds of production quirks in their favorite films. Fact 2. 5 bikes were purchased. Initially, according to Peter Kent, Arnold Schwarzenegger's personal stuntman, who worked with him across 14 films, the production team wasted no time acquiring the motorcycles needed for Terminator 2. Kent revealed in interviews that immediately after reading the script and learning that Harley-Davidson bikes would play a major role, he and the production's driver went out and purchased 5 brand new 1991 Fat Boys specifically for the film. This quick action demonstrated how seriously director James Cameron took the motorcycle sequences, ensuring they had enough bikes to handle the demanding stunts without risking delays if one was damaged. However, reports conflict on exactly how many bikes were actually used during the 6-month production. Some sources state that only 4 Fat Boys ended up being utilized in filming, while Kent's original statement mentions 5. This discrepancy has never been officially clarified by the production team. The confusion might stem from the difference between bikes purchased and bikes actually deployed on set, or perhaps one bike was held in reserve and never made it in front of cameras. Each bike served a specific purpose during filming, with some designated for close-up shots with Schwarzenegger, others modified for high-speed chase sequences, and at least one reserved for the dangerous stunt work performed by Kent. The mystery surrounding the exact number adds another layer of intrigue to the film's production history. What is certain is that the production spared no expense, as each Fat Boy carried a retail price of over $13,000 in 1991, meaning the motorcycle budget alone exceeded $65,000 before any modifications were even made. Fact 3. 2 bikes got secret speed boosts. Not all 5 Fat Boys were created equal for Terminator 2's production. According to Peter Kent, 2 of the motorcycles underwent significant performance modifications to make them suitable for the high-speed chase sequences through the Los Angeles drainage canals. The production team enhanced these bikes by tweaking the exhaust systems, regrinding and respringing the valves, and rejetting the carburetors to give them faster takeoff and quicker throttle response. These modifications were essential because stock Fat Boys, while impressive in appearance and build quality, were considered too sluggish for the demanding action sequences Cameron had planned. The standard 1991 Fat Boy produced only 48 horsepower from its 1,338 cubic centimeter V-twin engine and had a top speed of 92 miles per hour, which simply wasn't fast enough for the intense chase scenes where split-second timing mattered. Kent explained that without these upgrades, the bikes would have been too slow and unresponsive for their purposes, potentially compromising both the visual impact of the scenes and the safety of the stunt performers who needed reliable acceleration. The modifications remained relatively subtle and didn't dramatically alter the bike's appearance, which was important for maintaining continuity across different shots. While the enhanced bikes provided the performance needed for action sequences, the unmodified Fat Boys were likely reserved for close-up shots and scenes where Schwarzenegger appeared on camera, ensuring the hero bike maintained its stock appearance. This combination of modified and stock motorcycles allowed the production to achieve both the authentic Harley-Davidson look and the dynamic performance required for one of cinema's most memorable chase sequences. Fact 4. Peter Kent practiced for 6 weeks. Peter Kent didn't just jump on a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy and start performing death-defying stunts for Terminator 2. The veteran stuntman spent approximately 6 weeks, or a month and a half, training extensively on one of the bikes before filming even began in October 1990. This preparation period was crucial because the Fat Boy was a relatively new model that handled quite differently from other motorcycles Kent had ridden during his career. During this intensive training period, Kent familiarized himself with the bike's weight distribution, turning radius, braking capabilities, and acceleration patterns. The Fat Boy weighed 657 pounds fully fueled, making it significantly heavier than many stunt bikes, and its low center of gravity required specific techniques to handle safely at high speeds. Kent practiced various maneuvers that would be required during filming, including high-speed runs through tight spaces, emergency stops, sharp turns, and the coordination needed for complex chase choreography. This dedicated preparation reflected director James Cameron's commitment to achieving authentic, high-quality action sequences rather than relying heavily on camera tricks or post-production effects. The training also ensured Kent could perform stunts safely while wearing the cumbersome latex facial prosthetics that would later be required during actual filming. By the time production officially started, Kent had become so proficient with the Fat Boy that he could execute complicated stunts with precision, contributing to the chase sequence becoming one of the film's most celebrated action set pieces. This level of preparation was standard for Cameron's productions, where safety and quality were never compromised, despite the intense pressure to complete a massive $100 million film on schedule. Fact 5. Peter Kent was Hollywood's first masked stuntman. During the production of Terminator 2, Peter Kent achieved a historic first in Hollywood stunt work that would change the industry forever. He became the very first stuntman to wear latex facial prosthetics designed to make him look like the actor he was doubling, in this case, Arnold Schwarzenegger. This groundbreaking technique was developed because the iconic motorcycle jump sequence would be filmed in slow motion and would dwell on screen for an extended period, making it impossible to hide the stunt double's face through quick cuts or camera angles. Makeup artist Jeff Dawn, working with prosthetics created by Stan Winston Studio, developed the latex appliances that transformed Kent's face to match Arnold's distinctive features, including his jawline and facial structure. The decision to use this technique came after Jeff Dawn suggested to director James Cameron that they try this experimental concept to achieve closer visual accuracy. When Kent completed the first take of the bike jump and removed the mask, some crew members who were watching from a distance actually screamed in horror. They had been calling out Arnold's name, believing it was Schwarzenegger himself, and when Kent reached into the appliance and started tearing the stretchy, skin-like latex from his mouth and face, several people thought they were witnessing something from a horror film. Kent got quite a good laugh from their terrified reactions. This innovative approach proved so successful that it became standard practice in action films, with Kent wearing similar prosthetics for subsequent Schwarzenegger films, including Last Action Hero, Eraser, and Jingle All the Way. The technique has since been adopted throughout the film industry, making it commonplace for modern stunt doubles to wear facial prosthetics when necessary for close-up action sequences. Fact 6. The famous jump wasn't wire-free. The iconic image of the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy soaring through the air and crashing down into the Los Angeles drainage canal has become one of the most legendary motorcycle stunts in cinema history. However, the popular myth that Peter Kent performed this jump completely wire-free and without assistance is not entirely accurate. In reality, the motorcycle was rigged with 1-inch steel cables attached to a crane system designed to help control the descent and reduce the impact when the 780-pound bike and rider hit the concrete canal floor. These cables were strategically placed to cut the impact force while still allowing the stunt to look dangerous and realistic on camera. Kent has confirmed in multiple interviews that the cables were used, explaining that while the landing still hit pretty hard despite the assistance, the cables prevented what could have been a catastrophic impact. Director James Cameron insisted on using the actual full-weight Harley-Davidson rather than a stripped-down lightweight version, which made the cable system even more essential for Kent's safety. After filming was completed, the visual effects team digitally removed all traces of the crane and cables in post-production, creating the illusion of an unassisted jump. This combination of practical stunt work and digital enhancement was cutting-edge for 1991 and demonstrated Cameron's philosophy of capturing real action on camera while using technology to polish the final result. The fact that cables were used doesn't diminish Kent's achievement, as the stunt remained incredibly dangerous and required precise timing, skill, and courage to execute successfully across multiple takes. Fact 7. The jump took 7 takes. Peter Kent and the crew filmed the legendary Fat Boy jump into the drainage canal 7 times before director James Cameron was satisfied with the results. Despite the protective cable system in place, each landing delivered a punishing impact that took its toll on both the motorcycle and the stuntman. The concrete surface of the canal offered no forgiveness. And even with cables helping to control the descent, the weight and momentum of the 780-pound Harley, combined with Kent's body mass, created tremendous force upon impact. During these repeated takes, the landing proved violent enough to break off the brake assembly and foot peg from the motorcycle, compromising Kent's ability to stop the bike properly after touching down. This equipment failure created a dangerous situation during one of the final takes when Kent couldn't brake effectively and nearly ran over James Cameron, who was operating one of the cameras positioned at ground level in the canal. Cameron, demonstrating quick reflexes honed through years of hands-on filmmaking, grabbed his camera and tripod and turned like a toreador, executing a bullfighting maneuver, narrowly avoiding being struck by the out-of-control motorcycle. Kent just barely missed hitting the director. This near disaster could have resulted in serious injury or even death for one of Hollywood's most acclaimed directors, potentially derailing the entire production. The incident highlighted the genuine dangers involved in practical stunt work and the courage required from everyone on set, not just the stunt performers. Despite this close call, Cameron's hands-on approach to filmmaking and his willingness to position himself in potentially dangerous situations earned him tremendous respect from his stunt teams throughout his career. Fact 8. The latex mask was pure torture. While wearing the Arnold Schwarzenegger facial prosthetics represented a groundbreaking achievement in stunt work, the experience proved to be physically grueling for Peter Kent. The makeup application process alone took between 3 and 5 hours every single day before filming could begin, with Kent sitting patiently, while makeup artist Jeff Dawn carefully glued the latex pieces onto his face to achieve the perfect resemblance to Schwarzenegger. Once applied, Kent had to wear the mask for 12+ hours daily while performing physically demanding stunts under hot filming conditions. This ordeal continued for 66 consecutive days during the Terminator 2 production. The latex created a sealed layer against Kent's skin that trapped heat and moisture, causing severe discomfort and even pain. During the climactic fight scene in the steel mill, the situation became so unbearable that Kent had to grab a pair of surgical scissors and cut a hole in the latex near his eye because a cup's worth of sweat had ballooned out between the rubber and his face, burning his eyes so badly that he couldn't see to perform the stunt safely. The prosthetics played hell with his face, as Kent himself described it, and if his skin got cut or damaged during stunt work, the makeup team would simply glue the latex right over the wounds for the next day's shooting. This punishing routine contributed to Kent's decision to eventually step away from stunt work after suffering serious injuries on a later Schwarzenegger film. Despite the torture, Kent wore the prosthetics on multiple subsequent Arnold films, cementing his status as one of Hollywood's most dedicated and resilient stunt performers. Fact 9. One bike sold for nearly $500,000. In June 2018, one of the hero Harley-Davidson Fat Boys from Terminator 2 went up for auction as part of the Icons and Legends of Hollywood auction handled by Profiles in History. The auction house estimated the motorcycle would sell for somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000, which already seemed like an impressive sum for a movie prop. However, when the bidding concluded, the winning bid reached a staggering $480,000, nearly $500,000, and far exceeding even the most optimistic predictions. This particular bike came directly from Carolco Pictures, the production company behind the film, with full documentation authenticating it as one of the actual motorcycles ridden by Arnold Schwarzenegger during filming. The odometer showed only 392 miles, indicating it had barely been used during the 6-month production schedule. The bike did show some minor cosmetic wear consistent with movie production, including a few scratches and dings, and it was missing its side mirrors, likely removed for specific camera angles during filming. Additionally, the rear saddle had 3 small tears, and the mechanical components were listed as untested at the time of sale. Despite these minor flaws, the bike's authenticated provenance as Schwarzenegger's actual screen-used motorcycle made it an incredibly valuable piece of cinema history. The sale price reflected not just the bike's connection to one of the most successful action films ever made, but also the enduring cultural impact of that iconic image of the Terminator riding through the Los Angeles River on a Fat Boy, while rescuing John Connor from the relentless T-1000. Fact 10. The buyer remains a complete mystery. The person who placed the winning $480,000 bid for the hero Fat Boy at the 2018 auction has never been publicly identified. The buyer chose to remain completely anonymous, and more than 6 years later, their identity is still unknown to the public and the media. Auction houses typically respect buyer privacy, especially for high-value purchases, so this level of secrecy isn't entirely unusual, but it has fueled endless speculation among Terminator fans and movie memorabilia collectors about who might own this iconic piece of cinema history. Some have theorized that Arnold Schwarzenegger himself might have purchased the bike to add to his personal collection, though this seems unlikely given his well-documented shift toward promoting electric vehicles and environmental causes in recent years. Others have suggested it might be owned by a wealthy private collector who specializes in movie vehicles, or perhaps someone in the motorcycle industry who recognized the cultural significance of this particular Harley-Davidson. The bike's current whereabouts are equally mysterious. It could be displayed in a private collection somewhere, locked away in climate-controlled storage to preserve its condition, or possibly even on loan to a museum under an anonymous lending agreement. The mystery has only grown deeper with time, as the bike has never resurfaced at public events, motorcycle shows, or museum exhibitions where you might expect such a valuable and historically significant motorcycle to appear. Movie memorabilia experts and Terminator enthusiasts continue to hope that one day the bike will reemerge and be put on public display so fans can see this legendary machine in person. Fact 11. One bike lives in Milwaukee. While one Fat Boy's location remains a mystery, at least one of the motorcycles from Terminator 2 has a confirmed and permanent home. Another of the 1991 Harley-Davidson Fat Boys used in filming is preserved and displayed at the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which serves as the official museum for the legendary American motorcycle manufacturer. The bike was restored in 2014 before being placed on permanent exhibition, allowing visitors to see this piece of cinema history up close. The museum provides the perfect setting for the motorcycle, as it showcases Harley-Davidson's cultural impact beyond just mechanical engineering and manufacturing. The Terminator 2 Fat Boy sits alongside another iconic movie motorcycle, Peter Fonda's heavily modified Captain America chopper from the 1969 counterculture classic Easy Rider. This pairing represents two different eras of American cinema and two distinct approaches to motorcycle culture, with the Captain America bike symbolizing rebellion and freedom, while the Fat Boy represents power and unstoppable force. The museum's decision to preserve and display the Terminator bike acknowledges how significantly the film impacted Fat Boy sales and the model's place in popular culture. After Terminator 2's release in 1991, the Fat Boy became one of Harley-Davidson's most sought-after models, with many buyers specifically requesting the black paint with red pinstriping seen in the film. For motorcycle enthusiasts and movie fans visiting Milwaukee, the museum offers a rare opportunity to see the actual bike that performed in one of action cinema's most memorable chase sequences, without needing to track down an anonymous private collector. Fact 12. The fate of other bikes is unknown. The confirmed locations of only two Fat Boys from Terminator 2's production are known, one sold at auction to an anonymous buyer and one preserved in the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee. This leaves at least two, possibly three more motorcycles completely unaccounted for, creating one of Hollywood's enduring mysteries among movie vehicle collectors. According to various reports, either 4 or 5 Fat Boys were used during filming, meaning several bikes have simply vanished from the historical record over the past 3 decades, the most persistent. Rumor suggests that Peter Kent, Arnold Schwarzenegger's stuntman who performed the legendary jump and spent 6 weeks training on the bikes, may have kept one of the motorcycles after production wrapped. However, Kent has never publicly confirmed or denied possessing one of the bikes, and no photographs or documentation have surfaced to verify this claim. It's entirely possible that some of the bikes were damaged beyond repair during the demanding 6-month shoot and were simply scrapped or sold for parts. Stunt vehicles often endure tremendous abuse, and even with 5 bikes available, the repeated high-speed chases, jumps, and hard landings could have destroyed several of them. Another possibility is that one or more bikes remain in storage somewhere, forgotten in a studio warehouse or private collection, waiting to be rediscovered. Some film productions sell off vehicles and props to crew members or liquidate them through small-scale auctions that don't receive major publicity. Without proper documentation tracking each bike's serial number and ultimate fate, these mysteries may never be solved, leaving Terminator fans to wonder what happened to these legendary machines. Fact 13. The atomic bomb. Name theory is false. For years, a persistent urban legend has circulated claiming that Harley-Davidson named the Fat Boy by combining the names of the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Japan during World War II, Fat Man and Little Boy. According to this theory, the name was chosen as a form of symbolic revenge against Japanese motorcycle manufacturers like Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki, which had eroded Harley-Davidson's market dominance during the 1970s and 1980s. Some versions of this rumor even claim that the Fat Boy features 7 gold rings representing markings allegedly present on the atomic bombs, and that the silver color and disc wheels were designed to reference the weapons. However, Snopes and other fact-checking organizations have thoroughly debunked this story as complete fabrication. The truth is far more mundane. According to Harley-Davidson, the Fat Boy name comes from the simple observation that the motorcycle appears rather wide and fat when viewed head-on, thanks to its distinctive solid disc wheels and robust styling. The FLSTF model designation stands for Softail Fat Boy, with the fat referring to its visual appearance rather than any historical reference. The silver color was chosen simply because it's an attractive finish for a motorcycle, and the disc wheels were selected purely for their aesthetic appeal and the clean, bold look they created. The supposed gold rings are merely styling accents added to highlight certain parts of the bike. This rumor likely persists because it sounds more interesting than the real explanation, and because conspiracy theories about hidden meanings and secret messages tend to spread more readily than straightforward facts about product design decisions. Fact 14. The bar burned. Down after filming. The Corral Biker Bar, located at 12,002 Osborne Street in the Lakeview Terrace section of Los Angeles, served as the location for one of Terminator 2's most memorable opening scenes. This was where a completely naked Arnold Schwarzenegger's T-800 Terminator materialized from the future and proceeded to intimidate a group of bikers, ultimately acquiring leather clothing, boots, sunglasses, and the iconic Fat Boy motorcycle, all while George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone played in the background. The bar was a genuine biker hangout that perfectly captured the rough working-class atmosphere James Cameron wanted for the sequence. However, the Corral's days were numbered after its moment of cinematic fame. In 1997, just 6 years after the film's release, the bar suffered a devastating fire that caused extensive damage to the structure. The fire was severe enough that the building could not be salvaged, and the Corral was ultimately demolished rather than rebuilt. The loss of this location disappointed many Terminator fans who had hoped to visit the actual bar where the famous scene was filmed. In a twist of irony that even the Terminator might appreciate, the site where a tough biker bar once stood now houses the Lakeview Terrace Branch Library, representing perhaps the most dramatic transformation imaginable for a movie location. The quiet, family-friendly library serves the local community, and most visitors likely have no idea they're standing on the spot where one of action cinema's most iconic sequences was captured on film 3 decades ago. Fact 15. Rodney King connection through accident. The Corral biker bar filming location became the center of an unexpected and tragic historical intersection involving George Holliday, an amateur videographer who lived in a nearby apartment complex. Holliday, fascinated by the movie production happening across the street from his home, decided to capture some behind-the-scenes footage of the Terminator 2 filming on his personal video camera. His tape included shots of Arnold Schwarzenegger getting on the Fat Boy and riding away from the Corral. However, George Holliday would become known worldwide for something far more significant than his Terminator footage. On the evening of March 3, 1991, while Terminator 2 was still in post-production, Holliday filmed the brutal beating of motorist Rodney King by Los Angeles Police Department officers from the balcony of his apartment near the same bar location. This 81-second video, which Reverend Al Sharpton later called the Jackie Robinson of police videos, captured police officers striking an unarmed King repeatedly on the street. When Holliday sent this footage to news station KTLA, it still contained some of the Terminator 2 behind-the-scenes footage on the same tape. The Rodney King video sparked national outrage and became crucial evidence in the subsequent trial of the officers involved. When those officers were acquitted of using excessive force in 1992, the verdict triggered the devastating Los Angeles riots. This strange connection means that one amateur videographer's tape captured both a piece of Hollywood entertainment history and a pivotal moment in American civil rights history, all centered around the same location.